everyone, it's Rose and welcome back to my channel and welcome to the first reading wrap up of 2026. So today I'm going to be taking you through all the books I read in January, and we had a lot of bangers. This was a great month to start the year off with. So my goals for January were to start 75 books, find a 5-star, read 10 books and finish a series, and I did in fact do all of that. And I read 6 of the 10 books off of my TBR. That was only because I ran out of time. It was not because I didn't want to pick them up. I read 22 books, I found 4 5-star reads, a new God tier series and an auto by author, and I read 7,792 pages. All while starting a new job as well, may I add. I kind of want to give myself a pat on the back for that one. This will definitely not be continuing throughout the whole year because I'm always so excited in January and read a bunch of books and I just can't keep up with that, so this is not a usual month for me. And without further ado, let's get into all the books I read. I started off with a new favourite series of mine. I read the Wayward Pines trilogy by Blake Crouch. This was absolutely nothing like I expected it was going to be in the absolute best way. So we have Pines, which I rated 4 stars, Wayward, which I rated 4.5, and then The Last Town, which was in fact 5 stars. This ending, I thought it could have gone so many different ways. The one way I didn't even think of for a second was actually how it ended, and that was absolutely amazing. I don't really want to tell you anything about this series. First of all, because I had an entire spoiler-free reading vlog where I read this trilogy, which, shameless plug, go check it out. But also because you not knowing what is going on in the first book is the whole charm of it. You're not supposed to know. Our main character knows nothing and neither do you, and that is the whole point. All I will tell you is our main character is in the Secret Service and he goes to a town where 2 agents went and didn't return from, and then he realises that he can't leave the town. It devolves from there. It is so good. It just got better as the series continued and I would absolutely recommend. This is sci-fi. I am so new to sci-fi and I absolutely love it. Because of the series, I'm now going to pick up more sci-fi. I did try and get through my NetGalley backlog as well this month, so we have a lot of NetGalley books. First up, I have The Newly Read by Zia Ryan, which I rated 3.5 stars. This is about a woman who goes to this program where it's almost like marriage at first sight, but they are going to pick your perfect match based on all your details you put in. It's like a one-way ticket from a dating app. Like, you put all your interests in, what you'd be interested in for a partner, all your hobbies, and they find you a perfect match. They pay for your wedding, they pay for your honeymoon, and it's about a character that goes on her honeymoon with who she thinks is her perfect match. This was good. It was fast-paced. I'd recommend if you want a thriller. It was fun. Then we have The Ex by Shalini Boland, which I rated 3 stars. This is following 2 characters. One who has a dangerous past she's running from, and one who has a very dangerous present. The way these 2 characters are connected is not something I guessed at all, and I doubt you guys will either. It made me gasp out loud when we finally got that reveal of how these 2 storylines were going to connect. But there was a main point that we never got a conclusion to, and that is what really annoyed me and lowered my rating. It was going to be 4 stars. I lowered it to a 3 because we got no conclusion for one of like the plot twists that I was really excited to see what they were going to do with this plot, and then it just went nowhere. Then we have The Quiet Sister by Alex Stone, which I unfortunately rated 2 stars. This is about 2 twin sisters. One was always popular, one had always had it all, and then one was always living in her shadow. And they have a obviously very difficult relationship, a complex relationship. But the sister that was always living in the shadow has now moved on and made a life for herself. And suddenly other sister comes back in the picture. This just fell really flat. It was really disappointing and predictable for me, and it didn't do anything new, so I rated it 2 stars. Then we have The Lodge by Paul Finch, which I again rated 2 stars. This is about a murder tour where like they're going on a tour bus around parts of the UK and seeing where different true crime things took place, and then they do like an extravaganza and it's like people are being killed off one by one. Is one of the murderers really back? Unfortunately, every single character fell flat. The one mysterious character, I knew who she was the moment she was introduced. I knew what the reveal was going to be because I knew who she was because it was so obvious. Just looking at my notes from when I was writing on NetGalley. I also guessed the killer's reveal. and I would not recommend this one. Let's move on to a better book. I read The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson, and I rated this 4 stars. This is about a girl who was the only witness to her mother's disappearance, but she was only 2 years old, so she has no memory of this. She never returned, the mum never returned, and now our main character is now 18. The family decides to agree for a documentary to happen to hopefully find some more information. And then her mum comes back. But is she back? She's very different from how she was before, and so many secrets are unraveled. I loved this. It was so good, just like all of Holly Jackson's books. I can't believe I put it off for so long. I don't know why I did it, but I'm so glad I did read this book, and I would absolutely recommend. We have When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy, which I rated 4 stars. This book, I don't really know what to call it. It is horror. It is absolutely bizarre at some points and absolutely terrifying in other points. This I don't know how much to give away. This story is about a woman who, through some means, ends up looking after a boy whose worst fears can come to life. He can make things come to life by being scared of them. And obviously, a little boy who's moving around in a bunch of places that are unfamiliar to him, and there's other elements as well. He's going to be scared of everything. And she's trying to keep him calm, but she has no clue how to. It is terrifying at points. It is also so comical at others. You don't know whether to laugh or be scared. It's kind of that mix of both. And I absolutely want to read more from Nat Cassidy. Then we've got Her Beautiful Life by Brianna Labuskes, which I rated 3.5 stars, another NetGalley arc. I read a book with a similar plotline to this, so I didn't want it to be the same because then I obviously would guess everything. And this did it the same premise but different, so I really enjoyed that. This is about a famous trad wife influencer who's always posting online about how she's this perfect housewife, trad wife, and how her family is amazing. And then we've got a journalist who used to know her when she wasn't a trad wife and was a very different woman, and she goes for a weekend to do a piece on them, and she sees what things are like when the camera is off. This was good. This was twisted and sick and so good. I did have a DNF, which was What Boys Learn by Andromeda Romano Lax. I think I got like 20% of the way into this one, and unfortunately one of the main characters is a mother who has a teenage boy who's going down the alt-right pipeline, and the way he talks about women and everything was just too much for me. I understand that was the point. Like, I don't think you're supposed to root for him, although I feel like some of it was trying to be justified in a way, but I like to read to escape from reality, and that is an all too real thing. So it was just, personally, I didn't want to read that, so I DNF'd. Not because it was a really bad book, it just was too real and I didn't want to read about that. I did in fact read 3 Cynthia Murphy books, so we're going to talk about all of those together. We have Win, Lose, Kill, Die, which I rated 3 stars. This is set at like an elite, really smart school, and there's people like in line to be head girl, deputy, underneath, lower and lower, and the people at the top are slowly being killed off one by one. It was fun, it was easy, it was predictable, and nothing amazing. I rated it 3 stars. I read it in one sitting. Then we have Last One to Die by Cynthia Murphy, which again I rated 3 stars. So this is a story about I think she's 18 and she's from Ireland, and she goes to England for a summer, and she's a drama student, and a lot of girls are going missing or being killed, and they all look like her, and she is kind of like last one to die kind of thing. She thinks she's next. I was waiting the entire book for it to do something, and then it did something. I'll give it that. Not what I thought was gonna happen, not the direction I thought it was gonna go down. I mean, it was good. It, again, wasn't amazing, and again, it was only good for the last like 50 pages, because for the rest of it I was just waiting for something to happen. Then we do have my favourite book of hers, which I have rated 4 stars. This is Signed, Sealed, Dead. This was a good young adult thriller. This is about a family from England. The dad is American, so they decide to move over to America, and they have a teenage daughter, and then she gets a letter that basically says like, we've been waiting for fresh blood kind of thing, and they find out that there was a bunch of girls that died or went missing, and the last one lived in their house before. Oh, not the last one, but one of the victims. This was really good. It had plot twists I didn't suspect. It was fast-paced, it had a lot of interesting characters, and this was my favourite out of her books. Then we have a book I read in one sitting, and a book that absolutely shocked me with the plot twist. I had not a clue, not even an idea that that was going to happen. This is A Heatwave by Katarina Diamond. It has less than 2,000 ratings on Goodreads, I'm pretty sure. I got a bundle of her books for Christmas, and I picked this up knowing nothing about it, and my god, was it good. So we're following past and present, and in the past, something traumatic happened to this girl, and in the present, she finds out that the same thing might be happening again, so she has to go back to the town she's moved on from to try and figure out what is going on. Oh my god, the past timeline in this book, that was where all the plot twists were really happening. There was plot twists in the present too, but my god, I could not have guessed. And now I'm gonna read all of her books. I have 6 more because I got the bundle. I'm gonna read them all. Read this if you want a really good thriller, I would absolutely recommend. Then we've got What Have I Done by Teresa Driscoll, which I rated 3.5 stars. I binge read, I think, all of her thrillers at the beginning of last year. So this time last year, my January reading wrap up was mainly Teresa Driscoll, I think. And when I knew there was another book coming out, I had to get it off of NetGalley. So this was another NetGalley book. This is about a woman who has a, cancelled flight. There's a bunch of flights cancelled, and she manages to get a hotel room. And she sees this teenage girl also trying to get a hotel room, but she doesn't have the money and there's no space. So she's like, well, I have a teenage daughter at home. I can't just let this girl go out on the streets. You can come and sleep on, there's 2 beds in my room, you know? She thinks nothing of it. Then things start going wrong in her life, and she is convinced it all started when she let that go in her hotel room. There's a culty aspect to this book, which I really enjoyed. I really like this book. It's not my favourite of hers, but it is still really fun. Then we have Run on Bread by Noelle Illy, which I rated 3 stars. It tends to be a theme that I'm rating this author's books 3 stars. This is about a, car speed chase. So it's 2 girls going home from a party in the dark, or they're on their way to the party in the dark, and their phones are both dead or whatever, and then there's someone following them behind in the car, and it's like a speed chase, and then stuff happens. Although it happened really slowly, and the first 20%, so much happened, and then nothing really for quite a long time, which was what affected the rating. The pacing was really off with this one, but it was still fun and fast, and I read it in one sitting. Then we have The Trip by Audrey J. Cole, which was another NetGalley arc and another book I rated 3 stars. It was also another thriller that I read in one sitting. So this is about 5 best friends in high school. They go on a trip. Something happens to one of the friends. And then on the 20th anniversary of the event, the 4 of them go on this cruise, kind of? This journey out into the sea, shall we say. And things go wrong, so many secrets, so much drama, so many reveals. I did guess a couple of the plot twists. It was good. Then we've got Behind These Four Walls by Yasmin Ango, which I rated 2 stars. This book was way too long. There was maybe 250 pages worth of plot. This book was nearly 500 pages. The male characters all tended to blur into one because their characters were not consistent. They were very similar to each other, but also their characteristics kept changing, so they all kept getting confusing to me, and I couldn't pick them apart by the end of it. That's all I'm going to say about that one. And then my new God Tier trilogy. There is a reading vlog coming out soon, a spoiler-free reading vlog where I read these books. I finally read the Edge of Darkness trilogy by Lee Rivers. So this is Insatiable, Voracious, and Restitution, which I am currently reading. I have about 20% left, but I already know it's a 5-star. I could get emotional. These characters have been through so much. This is a dark romance, heavy on the dark. They have been through what no one should ever have to go through, and the 3rd book has 3 epilogues. These guys need 3 happy endings. I am more than happy to read 3 epilogues because, oh my god, the revenge arcs that happen in this though, unbeatable. But the trauma and the PTSD that they also go through, I could get choked up talking about it. Read content warnings if you're going to read this, but if you like dark romance, this is going to change your life. I'm sure if you like dark romance, you've already read this though, because it's one of the most hyped up trilogies on the dark romance side of the internet. And we are ending with a bang because those are the 22 books I read in January. February, definitely not going to be 22 books. It's a shorter month anyway. It's my birthday and I am going to be working more, so we're not going to be able to do that again, but I will be reading some good books, I hope. Let me know how you started off your year. What did you read in January? Please leave it in the comments below. If you would like to see more from me, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe as I post new videos every single week. I hope you have a lovely day and I will see you in another video. Bye!